Hey, what's up you guys? You're watching Team APS, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing 10 cool underrated decks that just kind of went under the radar because of things like Nekroz. Most of these are pretty recent. Most of them got like support recently too, and they're also pretty budget, so this should be fun. First deck is Konami. Konami came out in like I think 2013 or something like that, but they recently got Neberdisc, which is kind of their key player. It's the Stratos, and it can also come back from the grave. So the cool thing about Konami is that they can make, rank 4s, and I believe 3s and 5s when they want to, rather easily, so that's a really cool perk. The thing is, most of their Xyz monsters are actually really unique. I don't remember their exact names, because, obviously not that many people play Konami, but it's a deck that I actually want to build online and play around with, so it's really cool. I know a lot of people were looking forward to the deck being a, viable, competitive deck, but I think that maybe Neberdisc came a bit too late. Still though, it's a lot of fun to fool around with, so definitely give it a look. Next deck is Heraldic Beasts. They also just got a lot of new support in World Superstars. It's another rank 4 deck. It's actually really fast though. They have their own Monster Reborn, and they have their own sort of Bujin Carnation type card, which is super cool actually, because a lot of rank 4 decks don't have that. When they're made properly, I've seen Heraldic Beast decks like literally churn out more rank 4s than their extra deck can handle, which I think is actually really cool. And also, I believe they have like a lot of them are wind attributes, so you can do a little bit of like playing around with that. Really cool deck. Again, recently supported, overlooked. Next deck is Melodic. So the gimmick, I guess you could say, with Melodic is they're a bunch of fairy monsters, and the cool part about them is that their effects basically prevent them from being destroyed, and then further add more effects like not being able to be targeted or things like that. It's one of those decks that you just don't really see that often, but the thing is, most of the cards are common, so getting a hold of them isn't all that tough. And you can throw in things like Christia, and that's actually really scary when you consider that like Christia stops special summons and you've got a bunch of monsters that can't die, so definitely something you could play around with. Next deck's Ultra Athletes. So this one's been kind of popular. It's a good, just easy budget pick, because Ultra Athletes, for those who don't know, are all commons and rares. And they have a cool mechanic of basically sort of offense-defense, where during your opponent's turn, you summon out all the defensive ones that like prevent things from being destroyed and negate stuff and stuff like that. And then on your turn, you bring out the offensive ones that have like high attack, and they're about, dealing damage and stuff. It's a really cool dynamic, and they actually are like relatively consistent, get a lot of advantage. They just got new support too. It's just a cool concept really, because Konami's never made an archetype based off of sports, except like Battling Boxers, but you know what I mean. Next is Fluffles. So if you're into fusing but you don't really like Ritual Beasts, I know Ritual Beasts have a load of fans, but if you don't really like Ritual Beasts, fusing is still like a possible thing. Fluffles are cool. They're cute or whatever, and it's a really cheap deck to get. You can get like the main deck for about 20 bucks, and like I'm not even kidding about that. Some of the extras are kind of expensive, but like not even really. And it's a fun deck. It kind of reminds me of something like Gym Knights, where you can do quite a lot of fusing over and over, and their fusion monsters do have good effects. And like the thing is, it's another one of those decks that came out in like Duelist Alliance and just got completely overlooked. Worth a look if you aren't too into Ritual Beasts, because they're just nutty. So yeah, check out Fluffles. Next is Superheavy Samurai. I believe these also debuted in Duelist Alliance, if not New Challengers. And they're cool because they can basically attack from defense position. It's a cool mechanic that hasn't really been used in Yu-Gi-Oh! Before. I know there was like that Total Defense Shogun, but like that's one card. So this is really cool. It's just a neat mechanic. I know that they're missing a couple of support cards from what people have told me, but still, I just like the premise. I think that it's neat. I think that it's kind of unexplored, and there are a lot of cool like spells and traps you could incorporate into that strategy, like attack and defense switching spells and traps, because they attack in defense position, so they aren't susceptible to something like, say, Mirror Force, which is really cool. Next deck is Galaxies. So Galaxies have been out for actually quite a while, because that kind of debuted with Zexal, but they recently got the Galaxy Soldier, the level 5 thing in World Superstars, and their counter trap card. I forget the name of it. But yeah, so Galaxies is actually a really cool deck. I've seen a lot of awesome deck profiles of it on YouTube, and I might have mentioned this before, but Galaxies remind me of sort of the type of deck that can randomly take a game off of, the unsuspecting meta player. They can put out a lot of damage really fast. Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon, and all of them, like Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, all the Xyz, they have a lot of attack. They have really strong effects in the battle phase, and they're all like light monsters, so there's a little bit of synergy there. Dark Matter Dragon is actually still a usable thing, although it's a little bit harder to use. But yeah, like Galaxies is a cool deck. It's something I've actually always wanted to build, so give it a look. Next deck, Zephyr. So Zephyr is pretty new. There's supposedly based off of basically using all the different kinds of summons, so fusions, rituals, synchros, exceeds, and that's cool. I think that there's a lot of flexibility with this archetype. It sort of encourages diversity and encourages creativity, which is something I like. I haven't explored it very much though, and it's something that I'd like to see explored, something I'd like to see broken, so to speak. And I think that it just kind of takes one good player with some creativity to take it and figure something out that really worked for this deck, because I've yet to see it really do anything crazy, and that's what I want to see. So fool around with Zephyr if you're the type of person who's just looking for something cool to do. Next, Xray Drafters. So these are kind of like the new school Blackwings. I didn't want to include Blackwings on this list because Xray Drafters are new and they're cool. Anyway, it's basically Dark Wing Beasts to my knowledge, and they make Xyz really fast. I actually don't know all that much about this archetype either, but that's kind of the theme of this list, is that these are archetypes that are very unexplored and just went under the radar. I know that there are Xray Drafter and Blackwing hybrids, so I know that's a thing. But yeah, if someone can, like, you know, make a really cool Xray Drafter list, that'd be great. I know they probably still have some more support coming out, but yeah, just give it a look. Last but not least is Infernoids, and this is probably one of those decks that maybe shouldn't have been on this list, since I know it's gotten a little bit of attention before. The thing is, Infernoids, like, they got kind of popular at a time, and then they just sort of died off because I guess Nekroz and Yosenju and like Ritual Beasts happened. But Infernoids are cool. They work in a very unique way because they can summon themselves from the hand and the grave, and you just want to like kind of mill them all to the grave as fast as possible. I think it's a really cool mechanic. It kind of reminds me of something like Light Sworns or Chaos Dragons, you know, something that's just very like high risk, high reward. It has some consistency issues, but they are getting more support that somewhat remedies that. I think that's really cool. They can put out a lot of big monsters. I think that they have an inbuilt out to Cleafort Towers, a card that I hate. And it's also just really cool. Like, their fire attribute sucks that Blaster got banned though. But anyway, you get the idea. It's a cool deck. It doesn't get a lot of attention. It's probably one of the more potent ones on this list, so give it another look as well. And those are my 10 Yu-Gi-Oh decks that just seem like they have gone under the radar, and you should try them out, especially because now it's summer and, you know, Nationals is kind of like happening. So basically there aren't really any regionals, so it's just a good time to like try out something cool that you've missed, you know, a budget fun deck, and just play around with it, see what you can do, see if you can't, you know, maybe break these decks, especially since in the ban list that's coming up soon, they're not gonna get hit, so, you know, there's no risk in it. And also, when the ban list happens and we don't necessarily have the next top tier decks, these will be some of the great contenders to use for a little bit of fun. And that concludes the video, so give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and also subscribe for more Yu-Gi-Oh! Leave comments with other cool, like, underrated decks that I might have missed, because I know, like, people will say Yang Zings and stuff. They said that in the last video, so yeah, Yang Zings, they're cool too. But yeah, just leave comments, leave suggestions for other people, talk about it in the comments, and I will catch you guys later. See ya.